While the front-runners of the classification drive by daylight, the others have to count on their headlights to see clearly at the end of the day. With more than 300 cars starting one by one every 30 seconds, it takes time for the caravan of the Monte-Carlo Historic to pass, and inevitably the last drive in the dark. Gap, finish of the first half of the common stage. At the end of the day, the competitors meet at the Parc Fermé in the centre of town. Time to share hot wine and their impressions of the day in the country crossed on board their magnificent machines.
La petite 4 chevaux de Gambini et Piaggioli marche vite, trop vite même.
The history of the Renault 4-horse is closely related to that of the Monte-Carlo Rally. Many crews didn't hesitate to rely on the little French auto to take them to Monaco, starting from all the cities of Europe. Exactly 50 years ago, Panuel and Vial drove a 4-horse. This year, it was the turn of their descendants. The uncle of Jean-Philippe, Vincent Manuel, and my father, Jean Vial, raced a Renault 4-horse. They were fifth overall in a car that was virtually identical. It wasn't this one, but we have a certain number of accessories. There are things from cars at the time, and if you look at the back window, you'll see there are stickers from a number of Monte-Carlo rallies. The rear shock absorbers are identical to the ones used at the time. We found everything at an old mechanics place and put everything back together. They're all original parts. When they were kids, Jean-Louis and Jean-Philippe had sat in the car of the Azure team, but never, undoubtedly, had they imagined to be back 50 years later at the start of the Monte-Carlo Historic at the wheel of an identical car. It's very moving. I think of his father, who's no longer with us. We think of my uncle as well, who's 90 and who couldn't make it here. We think they had a lot of courage and were very skilled because they were able to do so well in cars that are nothing like what we have now. But we're surprised because this one runs very, very well. Passion and these kinds of stories often find their origins in the tenderest childhood of the current participants. Weather is very cold in the early morning at the Tallard Aerodrome for the start of the second section of the common stage. When one is Polish, -5 degrees is like springtime. It's the first time that Thomas takes part in the Monte-Carlo Historic, and he's come with a machine manufactured in his own country.
This is a Polish car, FSO Sirena from 60s. It's a popular car built in Poland. Two-stroke engine, 3 cylinders, 742 cubic centimeter, 40 horsepower. It was produced in a big quantity in 60s and 70s, but now it's rare to find good such one cars. When we start project with this car, we must buy 4, and from 4 we collect one good car. No, it's a bit too slowly for Monte Carlo, but it's a 40th anniversary when last time this car started at normal Monte Carlo Rally, and we want to celebrate this anniversary, and this is a reason that we chose this car for this event.
The FSO is undoubtedly the least expensive car of the lineup. Well, here's the most expensive, a Ferrari 275 GTB. Not really a machine made for the snow-covered, winding mountain roads.
No, but it has been long-distance cars for running for many years. So I want to try it. I drive on a circuit with that car also. It's very difficult to get the back of the car with all the time, but I have driven Ferraris for many years, so I had a little bit of experience about that.
The machines from Modena were to be seen on the racetracks or in the Tour de France Auto, but not really in the Monte-Carlo. It's also the case of the Ford Mustang GT. This one raced on the circuits of France and the rest of Europe, and paradoxically, it's an accident that saved its life. Unfortunately, the car was damaged by my teammate in practice in July 1967. Then I put it in storage, never thinking to resuscitate it. So that's why it survived so long. It remained damaged? Yes, I only restored the car when I retired. It was a lucky thing because the car has a great price list. Yes, the car's known its days of success because it was driven by someone exceptional, Johnny Halliday. That was also used in the film by Lelouch, A Man and a Woman, so the car's very famous. In 1967, I participated in 15 events and won 14 with this car. What's the common point between Mr. de la Valette and Ari Vatanen? Well, they're two only drivers to have won the Monte-Carlo in a Peugeot. It was in 1932, then 1985, and since then no more victories for the French Lion. There are a few Peugeots in historical events, and this year the three cars of Sochaux, the 504, 404 and 403, were all the more noticeable due to the fact these cars don't have an enormous prize list in popular competition. At the time, there was someone from the Peugeot family whose name was de la Jeunesse, who preferred the 403 for rallying and competition. There are a few models that participated in a number of rallies, but I don't know the prize list of the 403 in the Monte-Carlo. It participated in the African rally, some northern rallies as well, also the Mille Miglia, but I have to say it's not a car designed for this. The 504 and 404 are perhaps ideal cars to have their engagement retained with the Monte-Carlo Historic, though. That's the reasoning followed by Régis Vissot, the official doctor of the modern rallying for a long time. He dreamed of taking part in the race. Now it's done, even if he didn't manage to get close to the averages put in by Marcus Gronholm and his 307 WRC. It's true that with this car we're a little bit slow. It's not powerful enough for the mountain stages. I climb at 35 kilometers an hour, not more. So when they gave me a paper saying that the average should be 48, I laughed and said it wouldn't be possible. There were thus three Peugeots this year on the roads of the Monte-Carlo Historic, never before seen in the event.